It's a new year, it's 2024, and whenever it's a new year, people tend to set goals. And they have these goals that they want to accomplish by the end of the year, but a lot of the times people fall off and don't end up achieving their goals. And in this video, I'm going to share with you why you don't want to be setting goals and what you should do instead. So, here we have just some goals I've written out as an example, and here you are in stick figure form. Now, humans are habitual creatures, and we spend most of our day running on autopilot. So we're like a computer that just runs on programs. And so the way you think, feel, and act makes up your state of being, and your state of being creates your reality and all your experiences. And so the way you think, feel, and act are all unconscious, habitual programs. And so if you set goals that you want to achieve by the end of the year, but your unconscious, habitual programs aren't in alignment with your goals, then you won't achieve your goals. So this is why, instead of focusing on setting goals, I recommend focusing on creating new habits, because, like I said, we are habitual creatures. So I'm going to give you some examples of how you can turn your goals into habits. And so by doing this, what you will do is, when you focus on creating a habit, you do this through consistency and repetition. You've got to have that discipline in the beginning to get yourself to be doing it every day. But through consistency and repetition, the habits will become unconscious programs. The way you think, feel, and act, or your actions and behaviors, will become unconscious programs, because, like I said, we spend most of our day on autopilot, running on unconscious programs. So you create the habits to achieve the goals. So let's say you have a goal of you want to read 5 books during the year. Instead of having that goal, you create the habit of reading daily. So if you read every single day, you can easily achieve that goal of reading 5 books. Now, the other thing about this is, you don't have to read the same amount every day. So let's say, you were able to read a whole chapter for one day, but then the next day you were, a bit busy, you didn't have as much time. So maybe you only have time to read 2 pages instead of a whole chapter. That's fine. As long as you're doing something every day to create this habit, it doesn't matter how much you're reading. You know what I mean? You can be flexible with it depending on what else is going on in your life. So let's say another goal is you want to exercise and get fit. So instead of focusing on the goal, we want to create a new habit of going to the gym. Let's say 5 days a week. I say 5 days a week because that's what I aim for. I think that's a good amount of time to go to the gym. But again, it doesn't matter how much time you're spending in the gym. So let's say you're new to working out, your body's not used to exercise. So maybe you only want to spend 10 minutes in the gym 5 days a week. That's fine. And then as your body gets used to it, you can then add on more time to 20 minutes. And then eventually you might want to up it to 30 minutes. Or let's say you're already in the routine of working out, but one day you may have worked out for an hour, the next day you may not have as much time, so you just do 30 minutes. So the point is that you can be flexible with the amount of time you're putting in. The most important thing is you're being consistent with it. So let's say you have another goal of you want to eat healthier. So instead of focusing on the goal, we want to create a new habit to eat healthier. So the new habit would be to eat protein in every meal. Eat protein in every meal, because eating protein is how you get lean and how you build muscle, which is how you become healthy, right? And also, when you eat a lot of protein, like you have a high protein diet, you also burn calories as you're digesting the protein. So if you want to eat healthier, You aim for protein in all your meals, create this habit of doing it. And again, through consistency and repetition, these habits will eventually become unconscious programs. So you'll naturally be doing these things without having to have the discipline to make yourself do them. Now, let's say you have another goal. You want to learn something new. It could be a skill or a hobby. So we want to focus on creating the habit of going to a class every week. Just pick one class. Let's say you want to learn how to speak Japanese. You want to learn Japanese. So you create the habit of going to a class every week to learn how to speak Japanese. And once you've learned to speak Japanese, you want to learn a new skill or hobby, you just change to a different class. And so that way you're being consistent with showing up every week to achieve this goal. And let's say the last goal is you want to save 5K by the end of the year, for example. You want to have 5K in savings. So we want to create the habit of saving money every week from your paycheck. And you want to create the habit of putting money into savings before you buy dumb shit. Like, for example, before you buy a $7 coffee, you put your money into savings before you spend it on things like that. You may want to go to a party and buy alcohol. You put your money into savings before you do the fun stuff with your money. And so if you create this habit of saving money every week, then you can reach that goal of having 5K in savings. And again, you can be flexible with the amount you save. So, 1 week you may have $50 that you can afford to put into your savings account, and then the following week, maybe you only have $10. Maybe you didn't have as much spare money because you had extra bills or something. It doesn't matter the amount, it just matters that you're being consistent. Even if 1 week you had a really hard week financially and you could only save $1, that's fine. Saving $1 is keeping you, it's helping you to create that habit of keep putting money aside every week. It doesn't matter the amount. And so as long as you're creating the habits to achieve the goals and you're focused on being consistent with these habits, eventually they will just become a subconscious program. They will be part of your subconscious programming, so you'll naturally just be doing these things without having to make yourself do it. And then that is how you achieve the goals that you want to achieve. And I'm going to share something that I just saw Ed Sheeran talk about. I think it was yesterday. I saw a video of Ed Sheeran talking about habits, and he made a really good point as well. He said that basically bad habits lead to more bad habits. So he said, you might want to go out and have a beer, and then that leads to another beer, and then that leads to a shot, and then that leads to a cigarette, and then that leads to you buying a Big Mac. So it leads you to, more bad habits. But he says the same thing happens with good habits. So the example he gave is you eat a healthy, nutritious meal, and then that gives you the energy and motivation to go and exercise. And then because you're exercising and working out, you're feeling really good, and then you're able to get a good night's sleep. And then because you've got a good night's sleep, you have the energy and motivation to get up and do it all over again. So when you have the good habits, it creates more good habits. So habits is extremely important because, like I said, we're habitual creatures. So if you focus on creating good habits for yourself and you be consistent, because the way you create a habit is through consistency and repetition, eventually they just become your unconscious programs that you just run on throughout the day, and that is how you achieve the things that you want in your life. I hope you liked this video and you got some sort of value out of it. And if you did, let me know by hitting the thumbs up button or write a comment. And if you like this sort of content, make sure you subscribe and hit the bell notification. Hope you have an awesome day. Peace.